Hello, and happy Monday. I hope you had a good weekend. Today we're going to start a project. It's called Planning a City on a Coordinate Grid. I'm just going to kind of go over the details with you, read some stuff to you, make sure that you know what's expected and how you're going to be graded, and then y'all can get started. One of the most important things is that you use a ruler on this. You should not be drawing lines. Um, Freehanding them, make sure you use a straight edge. So you're going to name your city. Make sure your city name is appropriate and creative. Um, Part A, it gives you a few items that you're required to have on your city. So every single person will have these things, all 7 of them, exactly the same, and that's perfectly fine. You all will end up with different cities. So if I get 2 cities that are identical to each other, we're going to have a problem. So make sure that if you're asking somebody for help, that's fine, but asking for help and copying somebody are not the same thing. So you'll have these 4 points, these 4 places on your grid, and I did give you a grid already, so it looks like this. It's the second page of your packet. And you're going to put your name at the top. You're working on this by yourself. Sorry, your city's name at the top. Your name goes at the bottom. Okay, so come on. So whatever you decide to name your city is going to go at the top here. And then your name, you're the only person on this project. You're not working in pairs or groups. You're working by yourself. Your name goes on the bottom here. Okay? So first part of this, part A, you're going to graph the 7 things that are on here. You have 4 points and places. And then you have 3 lines. That could be a river, highway, and another road. Just make sure you follow what it says here. You might have to solve them, like this one right here, 4x plus 3y equals 12. You're going to have to solve that for y in order to graph it. Okay? And then it's going to have you just kind of read through here, and it's going to have you add things. Once you get to part B, the main thing that it says right here is for part B, and I would highlight or underline or something on here, that these are parallel to First Street. Okay, this one's First Street, right here. Your new lines, 4 lines in your streets. You're going to name them, and you're going to make sure you label them on your paper with a name also. So make sure they're labeled, but they should be parallel is what it says. Parallel means they have the same slope. So they should be going up and over the same amount. So if one of them has a slope of 1/2, then all 4 of these would have a slope of 1/2. They would just have a different y-intercept. Okay. Okay, so you're going to do 4 of them there. And then you're going to come down to part C, and you're going to do 5 perpendicular to Street 1, or First Street. Okay, so again, I would highlight where it says perpendicular, so I know what that looks like, perpendicular right here to First Street. What that means, so perpendicular means that your slope is what's called the opposite reciprocal. Okay, so if the slope was, let's say, the slope of First Street, I'm not looking at it at all. If the slope was 2/3, then we're going to flip that over and make it negative. So it would be negative 3/2. And if we have problems with this, you can skip it and then I can come up and help with it. But don't skip it for too long. Just let me know. And then part D, you need to pay attention to any bridges that you might need. So if your road is going over a river, you're probably going to need a bridge, so pay attention to that. And then you're going to get to add other things. You're going to get to pick from some buildings or landmarks and make sure you put where they're located. You're going to get to add a company of your choice. Then you're going to get to choose 4 other kinds of stores, some restaurants, and then other information like that. Now, you want to make sure that you do this nice and neat. So if I am graphing something on here, when I graph it, I need to make sure, so let's say, I don't remember where your stuff was located, but let's say I put a dot here, and let's say this is my library. I can't just put a dot there and be done with it. I need to label it. Okay, so to label it, you would just write the name of it on here next to it. And I'm just gonna abbreviate for now. I wouldn't write super large, and you also might want to pay attention to where other things are located because you don't want to write library and it be on top of another point that you're using. So just pay attention as you're going through it. When you're doing your lines, your line should go across the, okay, so use a straight edge first of all. Undo. Your line should go across the entire grid. It should not just connect. We're not just connecting this point and this point, okay? We're not just going, I'm not just connecting those 2 points like that. That's not what I want to do. What I want to do is I'm not just drawing it like this and putting arrows. My line should go all the way through. I don't know how to make this longer. There it goes. My line should go all the way through my entire grid. Okie dokie. So I would connect my points, use a straight edge, draw your line. Got it? Oh, sorry, undo. And then I would need to label my lines also. So wherever I have them labeled, maybe towards the outside, I would write down what it's called. Like this is Tucker Street. Okay? Maybe don't write that big, of course, but like just on the, and you could follow the line, like you could write it. If you want to make it look nice and neat, you could write it along the street also. So I could write it like this would be a good idea. Okay, so, but I do need to make sure that I've labeled my places and I've labeled my streets. I'm not just drawing them on there. They do have to be labeled as part of your grade. Okay, so that's the last thing we're going to talk about here is what you're grading, how you're going to be graded. So this is the rubric that I'm going to use when I'm grading your project. I'm going to look at each part individually. So you have parts A through G, and then you have a neatness and effort. Okay, so excellent. You have small, minor errors. You just have small mistakes in that section. This is like 1, 2 errors. Some mistakes would be like 3, 4, incomplete or just incorrect. So this is going to be incomplete or incorrect. You're going to get like 0 to 2 points. Some mistakes, 3 to 5 points. Minor errors, 6 to 8 points. And then excellent, you're going to get 9 or 10 points there. Okay, so that's the rubric I'll be using to grade it. You will be working on this in class. You'll have a few days to get this done. But if you'll have any questions, just ask Ms. Wilkinson to reach out to me. And I hope you have fun doing it. So have a great rest of your week. Bye, guys.